Hey everyone, it's Crow, and we are back for another Stitch with Me. This one has been a couple weeks in the making, but you all voted on Starshine Coffee by Tammy L, and it's charted by Stitches So Beautiful. And I started this last June, and it was before I had done the diagonals and was just kind of all over the place and wasn't enjoying it as much. So I am converting it to diagonals and am enjoying it so much more. Let me see if I can get this so you can see. So I brought this out yesterday and goodness, filled in, like there was a couple confetti pieces in the first diagonal, then just and a second diagonal, and then just finish off this morning the third down here. So now we're working on the next one, and yeah, just going across and filling in the diagonals to get it all converted. Obviously it's going to take some time, but that's what we're doing. And I love, look at this, it's so gorgeous. The colors, the background is actually brown 3371, and with the brown and the teals and the oranges, it's so pretty. So we're gonna work on this, get more of this filled in. I did get to 3% yesterday, which this was one of my legacy pieces to get to 3%. So I did that yesterday, so that's definitely a win. See. So now I moved it, you guys will see, I moved it to just my regular legacy wheel. Which I can show you because it's on my phone and I'm filming on my phone. But it was nice to be able to take something off the get it to 3% wheel and move it to the regular category wheel. So I'm thinking what I'll do once all the pieces in the get it to 3% are at 3%, I will then look at kind of what I have, maybe then for all the legacy pieces, get it, see where things are, and say maybe get it to 5% or 6%, and go through and pick out everything that is not yet there, and then just change the get it to 3% wheel to 5%. So we're always moving forward with the base percentages. I haven't decided what I want to do about the new starts. So in my last video earlier this week, which was a floss tube extra, I talked about my new plans and how I'm going to spin the new start wheel every floss tube every week, and then basically do a new full coverage start every week. But then that leaves the issue of, once it's started, what wheel does it go in? The regular pieces I'll just put in the regular wheel, because those don't have a get it to this percentage goal. But anything that's legacy, or that I probably would just be legacy. I think anything I have priority that I'd want to be marked priority is already started. So anything that would be a legacy, if I keep adding it to get it to 3%, then that wheel's gonna be never ending. You know what I mean? I'm never gonna be able to increase it to 5% or whatever. But it needs to go somewhere. So I'm thinking I might just put it in the legacy wheel, even though they're not at 3%. And then once everything reaches 3%, that's already in the 3% category, I'll reassess, and then everything that's been the new start will then go into the get it to 5% wheel or something like that. I mean, obviously it'll then take me longer, but at the end of the day, like I said, it's just, I enjoy the process and I want to get through all of my projects. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes, and I can always change it. It's no biggie. It's not set in stone. It's just something to help me rotate through everything and stitch on everything, because for me that really is the goal, not necessarily finishing everything, which isn't gonna happen, but just stitching on everything, enjoying the process. So, but I did start my Ladybug Spring. The colors in that are so, the greens, so pretty. So I have decided that whatever the new start is, I will then show it in the next floss tube. So you will see that in Monday's floss tube. It's going to be in addition to I'm still going to do the clue and top three pieces that got the most stitching and honorable mentions. But I am going to add on the new start, whatever that was for the week, and then we'll spin for the next one. So that's exciting. So you will get to see all the new starts. They're not going to be anything, I mean, you know, it's a new start, so it's not going to be thousands of stitches that you're going to see. But it'll be fun. So this is kind of an interesting thing to see, like how I convert it to a diagonal. So all of this I already had stitched. All of this was already stitched. So what I'm doing is I had, you know, from the previous diagonal parked in. And so now I'm just working in the parked threads. So obviously, and then filling in whatever's left. So obviously these that I had already done stitching in are going to go quicker than a full diagonal from start to finish, because some of it is obviously already stitched. But the principle's the same, just going in. Oh, my eye's itchy. Oh. Going in, I like to fill in the parked threads first, and then stitching the rest of the diagonal, parking in the next diagonal. So this is ready to go. And so I'm going to show a tiny bit of the pattern here. So even though I've already, we'll go up here, even though I've already stitched this, right? when I stitch these and park them in the next diagonal, you can still see the diagonal lines. And I do 2 diagonals, or I do 20 stitch wide diagonals. So for markup, which is what this is, I do 2 diagonals of 10. So I'll then work in all of this and then park over here. So you can still see the diagonals and figure, figure out where you are. You're just not doing the whole complete diagonal from start to finish. Excuse me. It's Saturday morning and it's gloomy today, which I love cloudy days. I love cloudy days and rainy days. But I was just extra tired this morning. I got up like I usually do, and then ended up going back to sleep for a couple hours. I was up at like 4 something, which is usually about when I get up, 3:34. And then stitched for a bit, made some coffee, stitched for a bit, and then could just feel my eyes just getting really heavy. So I went back to sleep for a couple hours, got up at 8. And then got child's lunch all ready to go because he's at ballet till 4. So he's off, and they have a performance coming up the second week of April. So they're preparing for that, and then they have another performance, different performance in June, early June. So it's got lots of things going on. But it's nice and quiet here. Whoops. Not like it usually isn't, because when he's home, he's down in the mines playing his video games, so don't hear him. But it's just a lazy Saturday morning. You don't hear people outside or anything really, so it's a lovely day to get some stitching in. Enjoy the birds. They've all come back, and it's so lovely to hear them. And see them at the feeders again, and heard the morning doves this morning. The bluebirds are back, and all the robins are back, and the wrens and finches are back. I love hearing them, watching them. I love birds. Saw the rabbits the other day as well, so they're back. The deer never go away. The deer are here year-round. I haven't seen them much lately, but they're still here. They were on the yard the other day when I let Xena out in the morning. And it's funny, they've now got to the point where they just ignore each other. Like Xena and the deer are just like, yeah. Oh, it's you again. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Some coffee. So what are you all working on today? continue stitching along. It's gonna work up. I have been enjoying, I'm gonna move this back, it was a little bit too far. I've been enjoying my new system. It's landed on, you know, the wheels have landed on things that I haven't worked on yet this year. And obviously it's only March, we're not even in April yet. But still, it's almost 4 months into the year, and there are a lot of projects I have not touched yet. Because as I explained in my plans extra, I tended to, I had multiple whips under each to choose from under each token for the Stitchopoly, but I tended to always pick the same ones. So far this has been nice. Whatever the wheel lands on, it's been fun to spin the wheel. Whatever it lands on, I'll work on. And it's brought out pieces that I haven't worked on yet this year, and I've really enjoyed working on them. This piece, for example, you did vote on it. It did win the poll, but the wheel actually landed on it. Yeah, Dragon Guardian came out. Cruella came out. So it's obviously, you're not going to see everything in the floss tube, but when we do the mid-year whip parade, you should see a lot of projects having gone worked on, which is nice. Obviously, it's only the first week of the new system, so, I can't say for certain that it'll last forever, but right now I'm enjoying it. Okay, these colors are so pretty. So it was Astara on Thursday. And child doesn't like cold sandwiches. He likes subs and things like that, but they have to be hot or toasted. And he had ballet anyway, so he wasn't even home for dinner. But I made a carrot salad and little tea sandwiches, cucumber, and then I made a radish, where we go here, a radish sandwich. So what I did, I just made it up. I took no, not sour cream. I took cream cheese and poppy seeds and a little bit of Greek yogurt and lemon juice, and mixed it all up, and then put that spread that on both sides, like both pieces of bread, and then what do you call it, like sliced with the mandarin, really, really fine slices of radish, and they were really good. And then so that was our Astara meal, very nice and light and like ready to welcome in spring, and I made some iced tea. I found in the cupboard. It was like an orange and pomegranate tea, so I made iced tea with that, and it was really nice. So Dar and I had that for our star meal, and it was lovely. It really was. Of course, now the sun's coming out, so everything is too bright for me. There we go, it's better. I like it. Cloudy days really make me so happy. Cloudy, rainy days. And then when the sun starts coming out, I'm like, oh, no, clouds come back. So this piece only has 100 something, 108,000 stitches. So it's only 6,000 stitches more than it's Halloween night. So it's not that huge a full coverage. I was working on Cruella yesterday, and I only had to do 100 stitches, and I did more, but I did 300 some. I don't remember exactly. And I'm trying to fill in. I haven't wanted to work on it, which is why I haven't brought it out, because I had been doing page by page and don't like that anymore. But the page I was on, let me bring this so you can see. There we go. The page I was on, it's all just confetti. It's a stained glass piece, so it's all just little tiny bits of, 3 or 4 stitches, 6 stitches and it's, you work on it and you work on it and you work on it, and I got, like I said, 300 some stitches in on it, and I took a picture before I started, because I thought, oh, surely I'll be able to see, like, it's one of those where you don't really notice a difference after you're done, but I thought, surely if I take a picture beforehand, then I'll be able to see a difference. Can I see a difference after 300 whatever stitches I did? No, I could not. I mean, I sort of could, because I knew where to look, but just you had to really try to find it, and I mean, it just felt like I didn't do anything. But I mean, I had the numbers. I knew I stitched on it. I had the numbers to say you did this many stitches. And it's so hard to trust it. Well, not trust it, but it's so hard to feel like you're getting anywhere because you don't see it, even though the numbers are there. You don't necessarily see it, and so you don't feel like you're actually getting anywhere. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with that piece once I get that page finished. I don't know if I'm going to convert it like to diagonals, or just diagonals I feel would work the best for that piece, but the way I say so far, I have about 30,000 stitches in on it. I think I'm at like 8 something percent. I don't know. Could just go back to the left, do diagonals until I get to the page, to, you know, and get the whole piece converted. That's probably what I'll do. It'll take a while, but I think I'll be happier stitching it in the diagonal. Not all pieces feel right in the diagonal, so sometimes I'll start a piece and then be like, it's not really working for this one. Which I think is so interesting that the pieces sort of tell you. They let you know. They let you know. Like, this isn't for me. Thank you. Nose is itchy now. I also found a place through the shop app that so when I was growing up, my mom would go to the Yuki church in the area, Catholic Byzantine, and they would have, for Easter, they would sell nut and poppy seed bread, which is, it's like this thin, it almost looks like a pumpkin roll or something like that, right? But it's not cakey. It's a very, like, almost, how do I want to describe it? Not really bready either. It's like a kind of more like a pie crust, I guess, but thin, and obviously not a pie crust. And then there's a walnut filling that's done, and then it's rolled. We made them, darn, I made them one year years ago, and they're a pain in the ass to make. And then there was one that had a poppy seed filling. Which had raisins in it, and I didn't like the raisins. I like raisins just to eat raisins, but once you cook them, they're like not a raisin and they're not a grape anymore, and they're in between, and I don't like it. It's like a texture thing. I don't know. But anyway, she would go every year and we'd have them and get them from the Yuki church, and we'd have them with our Easter meal. And I, for many reasons, don't want to purchase them from there anymore. So, I found this company through this bakery, through the shop app, and they have so many kinds. There's a pecan one that looked really good, and a chocolate walnut, and excuse me, there was a raspberry one, I think, and like a lemon. Oh, they all looked so good. An apricot one. But I just went with the traditional walnut and poppy seed with no raisins. You could get it with raisins, but you could also choose no raisins. So that's what I got. And let me tell you, they taste exactly 100% like the ones that Mom used to get from the church. Like to the point where I had a flashback of my childhood. Like it wasn't even like, oh, this is similar. It was, no, this is 100% it. Like the texture, the taste, everything. So we know where, I mean, not 100%, but I can kind of, guarantee you they didn't make those rolls. So, but they were really good, and it's been years since we've had them, and Child's never had them, I don't think. No, he hasn't. So we had those for dessert, and it was really nice. I'm glad I found that place, and now I want to try all the other ones, all the other flavors. They have a variety pack, so I might get that next. There's still a lot left. Like we kept maybe half of each roll out and then froze. They're big. I mean, they're not like tiny little rolls. They're big. So then we kept half of each out and then froze the other half. So, okay, wait. That was an exciting find. I was really happy that I found them, and I didn't know what to expect, so they're very good. They have cookies as well, different kinds of cookies. And they have where you can purchase a cookie or however many, and they'll send them to soldiers that are deployed in U.S. service people that are deployed. So I thought that was really nice too. Might do that next time. See what, I don't know if you can choose the cookie or if you're just like, you just pay for it and they send whatever they have. I don't know. We'll see how it works. That used to be more of a thing, and now you don't see that anymore. So I was happy to see that, just giving back a little bit what they can to, service or just the general anything. You don't see that a lot anymore. So okay, this goes. So, if any of you celebrate Ostara, what did you do to celebrate? I want to plant some seeds this weekend. And I've been doing the clear out and cleaning, and I had a goal for this month to get at least 2 boxes declutter and get 2 boxes, at least 2 donated to Goodwill. And last week, Dar took 3 boxes that I had packed up, and I now have 2 more packed up ready to go that he's gonna take this weekend, and then another one it's a big box, but it's about half full, so I'm doing really well with that. It's amazing how many things we can accumulate, you know, and a lot of it was, well, a lot of the first 2 boxes or 3 boxes were clothing or clothes that I had in the closet from before I had 100% embraced my gothness. It was difficult for me to, from my upbringing, it was difficult for me to fully embrace it and say, yes, this is who I am, and yes, it's okay that that's who I am and how I want to dress. And so I still had all this stuff in my closet that was never really was my style, but definitely now were not things that I would ever wear again. And shoes that I just couldn't fit into anymore, because of how my feet have changed, or again, that weren't my style. Things that were too small that I was holding on to of maybe I'll, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna, you know what? And if I do ever get back to that size, I can just, I'll be fine. Like, it'll be fine. I don't need to hold on to that stuff just because maybe someday, you know. So that was a lot of the first load. And honestly, it felt really good to clear that out. And now when I go into the closet, it's all black. It's all black with like a couple things that are black and purple. And it makes me so happy. And I feel like I can breathe better because I'm not, you know, I don't see things that I'm holding on to for whatever reason, you know. There was one thing I was very, very proud of myself for letting it go. And that was, trigger warning, maybe. I'm not going to go into detail, but it is about cancer. So if that makes you uncomfortable, trigger warning for that. My mom first got cancer in 94. Well, she got it in 93, but she was diagnosed in 94. Anyway, and so when she was in remission, the first year, she went back for her appointments. She, you know, her checkups. She wore this, and it was the 90s, mind you, okay? Don't forget that. This neon pink, remember those like satin shirt, not satin, I guess satin? Silk. Those silk shirts that were really popular in the 90s. Okay, it was one of those, but it was neon pink, and she wore white pants. And her tests came back clear. So, being my mom, she then wore that outfit every year for her checkups. And that was her yearly outfit to go and to her appointments. And I had tried multiple times to get rid of that because I obviously wasn't ever going to wear that. You know, that wasn't something, you're not going to see me in neon pink silk shirt and white pants. So I was really holding on to it because of the emotional attachment to it, right? And I had tried a couple times to get rid of it and couldn't. And this time I looked at it when I was going through the closet, and I just thought, I'm ready. It's time. So I did. I took it down, took it off the hanger. It was still, God, she's been dead now 14 years. It was still pressed, and the pants were pressed, and it was ready to go. And I took it off the hanger and put it in the box, and it was just like, I didn't have any, it was time, and I was ready. Finally, I was ready. And so that felt good. I was very proud of myself for that. And that just shows you that, sometimes it's okay to not be ready for something like that, right? Just because you're going, if you wanted to, get rid of some things, or declutter, size down, reorganize, whatever, right? There may be some things that you're not quite ready to let go of yet. And that's okay. Like, don't put yourself down, or, beat yourself up over that. Because there will most likely come a time where you are ready, and you just gotta wait for it, and you'll be okay. It's not gonna, at the end of the day, being in the closet wasn't hurting anything, wasn't hurting anyone, right? Hold on. Screwed up my system here. And don't force yourself. Don't feel bad if it's not time yet. So that felt really nice. Then a lot of other things I decluttered were things that, craft items that I bought to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this, absolutely. Then 3 years later, have I even opened the package? No. So it's not gonna get done, and it's fine, and donate it and let someone else use it and love it and enjoy it. That's where I am in my life. Also, my mom was a hoarder, so I do like to have, I'm not a hoarder, I don't have hoarding tendencies, but clearing out this house after she died, whew, it took us 8 years. Let's just put it that way. It took me and Dart 8 years to clear out this place, enough, to make it livable. That we could actually, use the basement or use the garage, or, so I've seen firsthand what that is like in the aftermath. So I do make a point to, once or twice a year, have a good clear out, so that, because it is easy to just kind of accumulate. Like I said, it's really easy to accumulate things. You don't even realize it, a lot of times. It's amazing how quickly things can add up. And so, even little things, you know, like those craft supplies. It was, you know, some washi tapes and some, and it's like, you know, by the time I got done putting it all in a little pile to put in a box, it was like, Jesus, like I didn't realize I had that much. So I do like to try to keep up with it. It's a good way, like keep it in check, just so that it doesn't get out of hand. And like I said, someone else now can enjoy those craft supplies, or can use those clothes, or can, you know, so it's better to have someone else use it and enjoy it than to have it just sitting in the closet, or hanging in the closet, or sitting in a drawer. At least in my, you know, for me. Do I want to? No, I'm gonna leave that parked up there. Okay. Whoop. So this is actually a good, I've had some people ask, like, okay, when you're doing the diagonal with parking, right? If there's a stitch up here and a stitch more down here, like, what do you do? Do you carry it? Do you end it and start it again? Do you, what do you do? So this was a good example because I just did, I think, this one, right? Well, no, I did one over here and then I parked it over here, right? So, oops, I just bumped the camera. My apologies. Ugh, I'm just trying to show you. So, okay. In this case, I did this stitch. Oh, you can't even see because of the ring light. And then I parked it here, because there's more of that color over here. The top, the very, very top of the diagonal. But if I go down the diagonal, there's more down here of that color. So what I'm going to do is, because there's more of that color up here, I started it and parked it up here. Then when I get down here, I'll do these, and then there's more of that color down here on this edge of the this half of the diagonal. So I'll park it down here. So I'll have two strands of that color going, but one at the very top and one at the bottom. If there was no, like if that was the only stitch up here and there weren't more over here, I would have ended it and then come down here and stitch those. But that's just how I would have done it. So it, you know, it depends. It's not a right or wrong, right? It's just how each person kind of goes about it. But yeah, that's how I would have done it if there weren't more stitches of that color up at the top. So it kind of is just a personal preference. How far are you willing to travel? Which again varies from person to person. And just kind of what the pattern is, where the color is. So yes, I will have two strands of that color going at a time, but they're far apart from each other. And obviously the longer the diagonals get, then, you know, the more you might run into something like that. Excuse me, that you might run into something like that. Ooh, excuse me. It's weird. It's like just chilly enough not to have the fire on, but then kind of a little too warm to have the fire on. So now I'm getting warm and it's making me more tired because I do have the fire on at the moment. But before I started filming, I did not have it on and I was freezing. So ooh, 921. Nice orange. Do I have that on here? No, I do not. Okay. There we go. I'm really excited to see what the new star will be for next week. That was really fun. I enjoyed the ladybug spring. I enjoyed spinning the wheel, you know, and then it's fun to see what it'll land on. And like I said, I want to start all of them. Like I want to work on all of them. So there's nothing on there that I don't want to start. And some I forgot that I had. I was amazed. I remembered when that landed on Ladybug Spring. I remembered what it was. So it'll be kind of fun to see if it lands on something and I have no idea. I'm like, I don't know what this is. Or how many I actually do remember. That'll be kind of a fun little mini game, little side game. Oh, I didn't tell you this. Well, I don't know the stats technically because I stitched this morning on this more. But this is 1/1 on 25 count. And like I said, I just over 3%. So we'll see what we're at by the end of the stitch with me here. I don't remember how many I had stitched this morning before I started this either, so I can't even do the maths to tell you how many we did during the stitch with me. I should have made a note of that, but whatever. Not that big a deal. Okay, let's do one more color. figuring out my game plan. $37.99, one of my favorite colors. There's only 255 stitches left of this color in the whole piece. Which, I don't know, I would think there would be more, but still gonna enjoy it while I have it. Okay. All right. And that is that. So we're going to end it for today's stitch with me. So you can see the next diagonal starting to take shape here, which is really fun. So I'll just continue on with that, and slowly but surely we will get it all converted. So total for the day, not just the stitch with me, but total for the day, I've done 591 stitches on this. So I have a total of 3,892 stitches out of 108,000, and I'm at 3.6%. So I made some good progress over yesterday and today. I'm really excited about it. So thank you all for joining me for another stitch with me. I'll be back on Monday with the next floss shoot. I'm gonna try to do some more stitch with me's. I'm gonna do some where you all vote. I think, I don't know how, I don't know. And then I might do one with like the new start for the week. Maybe some just with, you know, rain sounds or something like that in the background. I don't know. Let me know what you all think as far as all that goes, because, you know, there's only so much I can talk about. I don't really do much of anything other than stitch and make candles, so I can't do 4 stitch with me's a week where I'm just talking. But maybe one with rain sounds in the background, or even just a silent one where it's just me stitching. And then you can play whatever music you'd like. I don't know. Let me know in the comments kind of what you think, what you'd like to see as far as the noise in the stitch with me, I guess. You know, would you like to see have me try to talk for them, or would you like some kind of background noise or music, or nothing, or, you know, give me some thoughts. And yeah, so this will probably go away and I'm gonna work on something else now, but I will see you on Monday for the next floss tube. So thank you all for joining. I hope you got some good progress in on whatever you were working, whether it's stitching or not. And have a great rest of your weekend. Stay healthy, stay safe, happy stitching, and we'll see you next time.